All right, here we go again. This is going to be the second video of kind of review as all of your peers are going back into kind of a breakout room, but also they're basically doing it as individual practice. This is through a class kick, which you do have access to, and if you would like to go on and review these things, feel free. But ultimately, during this video, I'm really wanting to help enhance your knowledge, preparing you for the Unit 3 exam. So again, in Unit 3, we kind of left off in last video looking into the morality and technology. And what does that really entail? You know, the ingenuity of technology moving us forward. If you think about it, I mean, imagine, 100 years ago. Imagine the cell phone in itself. Imagine toilet paper. Imagine the simple things that are kind of don't even make sense. Like toilet paper, paper. I mean, who thought of these things? Well, someone had to. And as we begin to move forward, the clash between the old versus new is still a continuum today. In some cultures, depending on where you go, if you've ever gone to another country for some type of service, you might become aware that a toilet is a very cherished commodity in America, as you are going in a hole, depending on where you are. That's the old way of doing things. Depending on your religion, if you go into churches or synagogues or wherever you go, look into the old group and the new group. It's crazy. Even in things of changing carpet, changing song, can change even a culture within itself. So what is technology doing to us? In the last 20 years, we've seen technology boom, and the gap between the ingenuity and technology grows wider and wider. If you've ever tried to help your grandparents or great-grandparents or someone who is more up in age, more up in wisdom, just look there, the technology gap. And how does even morality bring into this? Sometimes this can be with even the question of keeping someone's life living, thanks to modern day technology. There are cultures out there who do not believe in medications or things to keep them living longer, because in a sense, that is the way they need to go. I've told y'all before, I'm a big NCIS follower. Well, in many episodes of NCIS, depending on the groups of people that they find in the autopsy, they don't get to do an autopsy because it is against the religion. So we also start to think the Maria Shriver case was brought up in Live CC, and you can see other ones in your readings. But even cultures are transitioned and kind of challenged on the aspects of morality and technology. The Western world, as we are branching out and moving things, combating into some of these different cultures, it's not normal to them. The English Luddites is that word actually in the 19th century, who attempted to impede the industrial progress, were a result of the clash of the old versus new. So we've seen it numerous times, the old and new. I mean, you probably don't have to look very far in your family to understand there's a difference. But it also brings up an interesting perspective. How well do we know our own cultures? Not the culture that we have intermissed or moved ourselves in with our hobbies, but the culture of who you are. How well have we worked to find out more about ourselves? Spent the time to spend it with our parents or our grandparents about where did we come from? What culture is my family originally from, or how have we gotten to where we are? The diversity even in families is very interesting, and it's something that even we are losing. If you've ever when you were in brick and mortar, consider this. The spread of spirit, a team doing well, an organization flourishing. How awesome is it to be, and how quick does it spread when things are going so well? Or maybe some tragedy has occurred at the school, and volunteers and money, is trying to be raised, and fundraiser efforts or put out. How quick does that culture spread? But then maybe something, It's by word of mouth. It's by encouraging, and it's encouraging and moving forward. It's like a snowball going down a hill. It's building steam as it goes. Is that the Western culture? The Western culture spreading as we come up with these new inventions, these newest things, the newest medication, the coolest TV show, the better type of shoes. But what is at stake? What are we losing? What happens when maybe that coach or that leader of the organization or the main person who had the passion to spread the culture leaves school? Or a month after the fundraiser, is the steam still propelling its way? Sometimes Western culture is just that. Western culture dies earlier. It picks up steam, and that's kind of where we are, and that it's spreading everywhere. But the question that I've often asked in this unit is, at what state? Not that it's bad, but we are moving progress. But what are we losing? We're gaining a lot, but what are we losing? Sometimes maybe the propelling of a spirit, we're losing while we actually got there. You're forgetting maybe the hard work it took to make it to state. You're just in the moment. You see, culture, who we are, it's a deeply rooted piece. Look at all of our histories. Look at the histories that even in the regimes that were not well led, the culture was so intertwined. The people were willing to do anything. So sometimes Western world or Eastern world, they can have this negatives and commonalities that are found in these Western worlds. Don't forget, we've discussed the encouragement of innovation, creativity. In certain areas of Asia, creativity is not necessarily encouraged. You're censored more so. Or maybe in the indigenous village, it's not encouraged to go to school, to challenge yourself, to make yourself more bright. What? I'm not saying either is good or bad, but we just have to become aware. Sometimes a lot of these conflicts arise because people fail to become aware of the situation or aware of the culture in itself. You say something even though it means something in your culture, but some cultures, shaking hands is disrespect, or looking at someone is disrespect. In America, looking someone in the eye, shine respect. Not understanding cultures can sometimes lead to conflicts. So here's just ultimately, as you go into this review, work on push-pull, what sends people away and brings people in. And then ultimately, peace is out there. The UN and numerous organizations they are focusing in ways to find our culture to be better. And that's one thing you just got to keep in mind. Unit 3.05 is one that you really need to pay close attention to. Because these are the ones that are not only helping you understand the issues out there, but how can we work to work those in society. Hopefully this has helped you. It was great talking to you. Best of luck on your Unit 3 exam. Have a great one.